Hello, and welcome to the Rang Rouge unit of the Reek. And today we are taking a look at the T80UK command tank for the Soviet Union. Now, the T80 first started life in the mid to late 70s as a replacement over the T64, and the T80 is pretty much design-wise very similar to the T64, uses pretty much the same layout. Now, of course, over the years they improved the T80 with different versions like T80B, T80BV, so on and so forth, till we get to the T80U in 1985. Now, T80U had fancy new equipment such as proper reactive armour, better gun sights, ATGM missile, a new 1250 horsepower engine, and even thermal sights. Now, there was a UK version which is a commander version, that's what the K stands for, pretty much as a command tank, of course. The only mechanical difference between both tanks is that the command tank has a better thermal imaging sight that can see longer range compared to standard T80Us, but apart from that, they're pretty much identical. In game, the T80UK is a Soviet 200-point command tank, and it has 3 weapons available to it. The first weapon is a 2A46M cannon, a 125mm cannon with 24 shots available to it, a range of ground of 2,275 meters, 60% accuracy, 50% while moving, 20 AP, 4 HE and 9 rounds a minute. So overall a rather good gun, long range, lots of damage, decent accuracy, and it does have 4 HE over the standard 3 HE of a lot of Blue 4 tanks, allowing it to suppress infantry a lot more effectively. And secondly, we got the Reflex ATGM with 3 of these missiles available to it, and they are semi-active. They have a range of ground of 2,800 meters, 50% accuracy, 40% while moving, 22 AP, and a reload time of 6 seconds. Overall, a very nice ATGM. You don't get many of them, so it's usually best to keep these off till you find a decent target. But you can do quite a bit of damage at long range, good for getting the first hit on enemy tanks. And finally we got a 50 cal machine gun, nothing really too much to say, it goes pew 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 and stuff dies, preferably infantry stuff, helicopter stuff and light vehicle stuff. And if you just pop down to its miscellaneous stats, it has 20 frontal armor, 9 on the side, 3 up back and 3 up top, 10 HP, medium size, medium optics, 75 kilometers an hour off-road, 110 on-road, poor stealth, fuel of 2,040 litres, an autonomy of 450 kilometers an hour, a year restriction of 1992, it is typed to only armoured, and of course it is a prototype unit. Now in battle, this thing is literally just a T80U that can capture points. That's its one little specialty. It acts like a T80U, it looks like a T80U, it shoots like a T80U, it kicks ass like a T80U. We all know what T80Us do. I don't need to go into the stats and why it's so good against enemy Blue 4 tanks, but what makes the T80UK my unit of the week is that even though it is a rather expensive unit, 200 points, 45 points more than a standard T80U, it has quite a good use, I'd say, in 1v1 maps. And here's why. In 1v1s, you're very limited in terms of resources. You always have to make the option when buying stuff. Do you buy a command vehicle to, of course, capture a point, or do you buy forces to defend your command point so you don't get pushed back and lose a lot of ground and eventually lose a game? But you'd also lose a game if you don't capture anything and keep buying offensive units. And this can be a very problematic dilemma, and I've seen it in a lot of replays. But the T80UK is the best of both roads. It kicks a lot of ass, it can go toe to toe with a lot of heavy tanks, and in 1v1s you don't really see too many super heavy tanks like M1A2s, Leopard 05, so on and so forth, so it's going to be kicking a lot of ass. Now the problem with this is that it's expensive, and compared to getting a standard T80U card, you only get 2 T80UKs compared to the standard 3 with a T80U. But when you think about it like this, you could either spend 155 points getting a T80U, and then another 100 points or 110 points getting a command vehicle or command infantry to capture. Or you could just, save an extra 45 points, and use the T80U as a frontline attacking unit. Even though it's going to be a rather high valuable target, if you can get it into an enemy zone and contest it, it's a pain in the ass to kill compared to other command tanks, such as, you know, Leopard 2 command tanks, M1A1 command tanks, because no other command tank has this much firepower and armor available to it. Most of them are more in the medium range in terms of price and stats. But yeah, it's a rather niche unit. I wouldn't say it's all that good in team matches, but in 1v1s it definitely has a good purpose. A nice all-around neutralizing package. If you are using this in a defensive role just to hold a backline area, don't bother getting this. But if you want to attack and you need to hold onto a highly contested point and, you know, get a bit of moolah, well, the T80UK is your friend. And well, that's all I have time for. This has been another Rang Rouge unit of the week. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as usual, please just take it easy.